Okay, guys. All right, I'm about as ready as I'm going to be. Not as prepared as I normally am, guys. But I wanted to do this on Monday, here. So while everything was kind of fresh in my mind, I'm going to do something new here on the video. In that, I recently got this camera, this kind of vlog camera that I've been messing around with for a few months. Actually, I think I got it in January, and here it is May, and I haven't posted any videos up. Um, Feel free to comment or whatever. To give people a little bit to get on. Anyway, so I'm gonna do something new tonight, and let's see. So, all right. So I'm going to start out with so this last weekend, some of you guys may or may not know that I was going to go to Paul's show down there at Pompano. Paul, really likes our shows, and he had asked me about doing a Pompano show. And then I just didn't get to it, and he decided to do one. Paul Scardina. He sells wrestling figures. Great guy, wonderful family. He's got a nice wife and daughters and stuff like that. They were selling Girl Scout cookies, I think. With Paul was set up down in West Palm. So anyway, I hope everybody that went to that had a good time. I didn't go because I just thought, okay, people there know me, and Paul certainly will tell people about our shows. I've had a really good discussion with him, and he's just trying to do, add some toy stuff to the community and everything. So anyway, I though decided that I've had a lot of people. When I say a lot, not a lot really, but I've had a bunch of people over a span of time say, "Hey, Jeff, why don't you come up? When are you guys going to come up to Panhandle?" And I also feel like our brand is Florida Toy Shows, so we want to try to cover all of Florida, and that does include the Panhandle. But whoa, that is a drive, man. That is a drive. Well, it's a drive because I went all the way to Louisiana. Okay. And I'm going to share some of that with you. I'm going to try something new here. I'm going to share some video that I took. I'll be posting it on YouTube as a full video once I cut everything together and take out a little. I don't know if how much I'm going to edit the video that I'm going to show you, because I basically did several stops and starts and stops and starts, and I may just meld it all together and not worry about editing it, because I just don't have a lot of time to do that. It's a very time consuming process, which is why I don't have a lot of videos up, guys. My daughter, maybe someday she will help me with the video editing, or maybe somebody else will help me with the video editing. But right now I don't have that person. And so that's why we're not doing more video. I just don't have the bandwidth of time to do that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, before I do some of the video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the schedule and how it's going to change. I don't today. Basically, I was catching up with tables. I'm going to go ahead and add our schedule to the stage here. That's what they call it here on my end. Anyway, so we do have Port St. Lucie coming up on the 18th. Now, assuming and my wife's going to be kind of like surprised in this. This is just something I thought of in the last hour. So don't, this is just take this with a grain of salt, basically. May or may not happen. Assuming that Port St. Lucie goes well, we may consider doing another one, okay, another Port St. Lucie in October, okay, after Kissimmee. That would be the 5th. That's if they have an opening, of which I did not check on yet, okay? They may or may not have an opening there. I have no idea. I literally have come up. I haven't checked anybody else's shows. I haven't done anything. All I've done is said, hey, I got to give part of the reason is, guys, that I given out a damage deposit to Port St. Lucie. That's part of the deal when you rent places like that. And so what I do with the West Palm one is, because we run 3 shows a year there, what I do is I just roll it over to the next show. So what I'm hoping is, maybe if this one goes well, then maybe we'll think about doing another one in October, right after Kissimmee, which would be right before West Palm. I don't know if that'll screw up the attendance numbers at West Palm. I don't know any of that. I'm just throwing that out there as an idea right now. Okay. So again, in theory, hypothetically, if it's available, maybe we would do this on October 5th again. Okay. I'm not 100% sure because I'm kind of burying myself here in September. I can see that already. So that's okay though. I pretty much, this is my gig. This is what I like to do. When I'm not, when I'm off and I'm not doing a show, I was at a show. I literally drove to Louisiana to go to another show. And that's what you got to do. And that's what I feel I got to do to stay ahead of the, just to keep things moving. Okay. We got, I'm not naming names. I'm not pulling any out of the bus. Or throwing anybody under the bus or anything. But, I go to these other places and I hear, oh, so-and-so says they're the biggest show there, and so-and-so's invited me to, I got vendors that are being invited all over the country for shows. And so, hey man, I got to do the same thing. It's a game out here. It's a game of chess out here, I guess. I don't know. It's amazed what I hear from people. But anyway, so in addition to that, okay, I have been wanting to do an Ocala show. I did look at the Hilton up there. I also have looked at the Equestrian Center. I don't think I'm ready for the Equestrian Center right yet. So we're probably going to put an Ocala show. My plan is to put an Ocala show like the 28th weekend. I got to nail that down. I'm still nailing that down. I did talk to the venue. They've given me the date and everything. It's not official until I post it. But I'm going to be talking to them again tomorrow. And so that's probably going to go into this July, in between 20th and the 3rd. April and July are typically, for me, in my mind, the busiest months, along with, late September, early October is, as long as there's no storms, that's a good time for shows. And then we may still try to do something after November 2nd, but I'm not sure what yet. I wanted that to be the gift show that we've been trying to put together, but the RP Funding Center doesn't have that available. And then I think we're going to be preparing for our other show that's not under Florida Toy Show's banner. That is Super RetroCon in January. So anyway, I'm just kind of throwing out some changes here in the show schedule. Now, let's see. The next change here or addition would be, and I realize I'm going to go ahead and okay, and I realize that some vendors will not be able to set up, okay, already because I'm putting it on a date of another show, and that is I'm going to be going and meeting with Bradenton tomorrow because their price schedule kind of confused me. They did give me the 20th, 21st weekend. Let me look at the calendar. That is the same weekend as Ocala Comic Con. And I'm just being upfront with you guys. I don't care. Okay. I mean, vendors that have signed up for Ocala Comic Con, good luck. That's fine. But, Ocala Comic Con is not Bradenton. And there's other vendors that may not want to spend whatever it was to sign up to that show. So, I'm adding a show, and hopefully we can. I think it'll still be a great show. The Sarasota building is not available from like this next month, like right now, all the way to November or something, or October or something. They're doing some shots fired. Yeah. Well, I'm at the point now. I think we got something unique that nobody has. And I mean, I want all the vendors to be there, but I don't blame them for signing up at something else already. I mean, I'm kind of coming in late in the game here with these dates, but I'm just trying to fill in some fall stuff. I'm probably going to try to make this Fort Myers. I'm waiting for hear back. I think I'm going to try to make this a 2-day show. And that is because we've had really good attendance. And I don't see us going anywhere else that weekend. So it's not a big deal for me to add this. I think it's just a better off overall experience to do this as a 2-day show. We've had over 1,000 for one day twice. And so, and actually this one was the better one, I think. Is that right, Lisa? I think the September one was better in January.
Yeah, September, I think we had like 50 more people.
Yeah. So I just think that this is a good, the venue is really nice. The hotel that is next to is expensive, but there are some other places to stay that are reasonable. We're literally right down the street. I don't remember what the name of them is, but I think I'm going to try to make this a 2-day show. Let's see. So those are the changes right now. I just to give you guys an idea, I did go to another location I went to is the Tallahassee Fairgrounds. You may or may not have seen the posting about that where I posted the sign, I want to say a dummy. I didn't take a bunch of pictures while I was there. I literally got there 10 minutes before they closed. It's about the same distance from Orlando, maybe another 20 minutes or something from Orlando as Fort Myers is. Okay, so the distance is about the same. So if vendors have went from Orlando to Fort Myers show, they could probably do Tallahassee. I don't have a date for that because the ladies' calendar was so full there. It would be indoors. We could run our own food. That is cool. The tables would be, I believe, pretty inexpensive. I'm going to try to contact, there's a card show already running, and I may try to contact them to just see if because there's 2 buildings next to each other that are air conditioned in that location. And I haven't contacted the guy or whatever. Maybe he'll tell me to, no. Who knows? Buzz off. So maybe that won't happen. But I was thinking about contacting the card guy who runs a free card show next door, and then running, seeing if he won't block me from renting the building next door and running the toy show, and then people can go over to the card show. Because we don't really do, he's mostly sports cards. He does have some Pokemon, but it's mostly sports card. All right, so now I want to do something a little different. I want to share my experience with you guys up north. I'm not gonna play a lot of this, but I want to see if this works. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add myself here to my video. So this is a part of a video that I'm gonna splice together. We'll just do a couple minutes of it so you can get an idea of the show. Now I'm in the video. I may pause it and I may pause it and I'll take myself off, and then maybe I'll come back and comment on it because this is literally, the video is me cold getting there in the parking lot, looking around, talking about that, and then going in the building, not having done any looking first. Okay, so it's kind of like, I'm seeing the show first. So this is me doing kind of like a walk around of the show that I went to in Alabama. So again, this is before I talked to any vendors really that actually ended up knowing me. And They knew who I was, and then so I didn't. This is just cold, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and
This wasn't in Alabama. This is in
oh, I'm sorry, in Louisiana. Thanks, Lisa. This is in Louisiana. All right, outside of New Orleans, about 40 minutes north, something like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this, and I want to. Hopefully, I don't know if you guys will hear it or not. I'm gonna put myself down here, and let's see if you can hear it or not.
Here after a long drive. It's about 600 miles, I think, from Lakeland. Anyway, show you guys the parking lot here because it's jammed. But anyway, I have a theory that, that there's a lot of competition for shows up down in Florida. And I think that when you go to a place where there's nothing going on or not a lot of events, you're going to get a lot of attendees. And this is proving. So I'm going to show you guys around the parking lot as I walk in. We got this guy that comes down to the Star Wars show. He invited me to the show. Hopefully you can hear me. Anyway, I'm going to turn it around and show you guys a little bit of how we got in here. It took a minute to park. All right. Okay, guys, so this is all full. All those people down there are trying to get in. We brought the Hummer. Yes, the gas is a lot, but I don't care. It was a comfortable ride. So you got people looking for parking spots. All of this is all for the toy show. Got a couple open spots over there, but people over here, man, are freaking double parked now. Just to give you guys an idea, online, this guy had like 3,200 interested in going. And usually that would mean he's got a 2-day show here. Usually that would mean down in Florida that we'd probably get around 1,600 to 2,000 people. There was a flow. He had a cop down at the end. I'll post a picture of that. You got people double parked here. I'm just showing this parking lot because this is how crazy it gets somewhere where there isn't a show every freaking week. All right. So for my vendors that, don't want to travel, you don't have competition every week, every day, every weekend, and you're not competing with Disney and everything else. We're in the middle of nowhere. I'll be honest with you guys. We are it was woods all the way here. And then poof, there was a cop sitting in the middle of the road. And all these cars are flowing out. We're like, is this for the freaking show? So anyway.
All right, guys, I'm going to come back and to the video here. And as soon as I find where I'm at. Okay. All right. Let me go ahead and put myself again. I'm going to go ahead and remove that. And I can bring it back. But I just want to make a couple comments on that. So we were in the parking lot. I did find out later that maybe some of those cars were for a Little League thing that they had, but I didn't see any Little League thing when I was there. And then the other thing is they did have 3,200. Supposedly they had like over 2,000 on Saturday. My number that I threw out there was actually for 2 days. That wasn't for 1 day. Okay. So if you have 3,200 on there interested in going, usually you might have 1,200, 1,300. That would be not kids. Okay. That would be just straight numbers. That was what I would guess, but they had like over 2,000 on Saturday, I think, is what I heard. And then I don't know what they had yesterday. Okay. And they didn't open till 11:30. So that was kind of different too. I don't know if that's because there's like because they're setting it up for Sunday, which had like a Bible. There's a Bible thing up there. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to worry about that video. I'm going to share another one, just a clip, just where I go in and so you can get an idea of the building. We'll do a minute or so of that, and then I'll come back and comment, and then maybe we'll wrap up or whatever. And if you guys have any comments or if you guys got any comments or anything, you know, feel free to post them up. Okay, so this is the other video. I don't have it really set up. This is me. I'm in the building now. It was like I had said. Let me just remove that for a second. It was like I said. It was $20 for Saturday. It was like $30 for the weekend, and I'm assuming it was just $20 for Sunday too, because it was half. It was like $30 for the weekend. So I'm gonna guess that it was. I don't remember the whole weekend price. So and the other thing that they said is they sell this whole building out in like an hour. I mean, of vendors. They do it twice a year, and the whole building is sold out in like an hour. So, I mean, I was pretty blown away. Which is why I'm showing it to you guys. And you know, I met a lot of good people. We got some vendors that are going to come down, not just the people that I already knew. We're going to have a couple of 2 or 3 new vendors from there that are going to come down. They had already heard about my show. Yeah, that was a show. It's called Tammany Collectors. I don't remember how to say it. So it was Tammany something Collectors Con or something. And yeah, that's what it was. Well, I'm going to go ahead and show a little bit more of this video. This is a second clip where I go in, and you know, again, I may be saying stuff that are on there. I think I was pretty cool. I'm not in general like. I'm going to give my opinions just because I have my own. I love our shows and I love the way that we run them. And so, you know, seeing the way somebody else runs it and they run it different than I do. So, you know, it's always interesting. I feel like I can learn from other people. I'm open to learning. So I'm going to go ahead and play that little bit of this video and see. I'm going to go ahead and minimize this other one. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to play this. I think I've got it set up for you guys. Nope, I don't. I'm going to put myself at the bottom again, and let me go ahead and play this. This is the first time I've really even connected the computer to the computer. I mean,
for the weekend. So you guys complain about my 1510.
Right, this is me talking about.
All right, guys. Now I'm going to cut these together. Hopefully I think my mic's working. All right, I'm going to cut these videos together. So we're right inside here. It was $30 for the weekend. So you guys complain about my $15 and $30 for the weekend, or $20 just for today. We just got the day, so I don't know if we're going to be here tomorrow, but I'm going to show you around as we see it. And man, okay, this is interesting. But again, let me show you the other side. Okay, this is entrance. I got Spence with me. So let's see what they got. All right, you got some artists out here. They're using all of the space. You got some other shows. Mississippi Comic Con. Sean Espen, that's pretty cool. A lot of guests we've had. We can get these guys, but wow, VXN, VXV. These are all their Comic Con. Look at this. They got all these. Are they trying to be Florida toy shows here or what? I guess not. They make me look like, like nothing here. Going all over the shop. All right. Cool. Oh, no. I'm good. All right. Card show. Louisiana RetroCon. When is this? Oh.
All right, guys, I'm going to pause it there. What I ended up realizing is, I'm just going to bring myself back in here. What I ended up realizing here is that this whole area was actually shows, promote. So what I'm thinking that happened is you had people that were, they have such a knit close-knit community up there, that what they were doing, rather than, you know, putting flyers for other shows on a table, they were actually doing trades. So maybe this show can go to that show and have a table. And then, so this whole hallway was actually other shows, promoting their show. Okay. Their other dates. I thought that was very interesting. I'm be interesting to try that and just see, you know, I think we all need to come together to help each other out, especially the smaller shows. I think sometimes people think that we're all kind of in competition when, I mean, we are a little bit, because I do think that you get an oversaturation, but that's what this was. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring that back up, and I'm going to probably fast forward it a little bit just to speed along. I'm going to put up the video later on and you guys can watch the whole thing. But I also ended up talking to these retro guys quite a bit.
Might as well take one of these. Cool.
All right. So these were all, I discover here that they're all like shows.
It's like Show Alley here.
Yeah.
It is fan groups. Promote yourself or promote your convictions.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Wow, remember that. January. Well, you don't mind if I obviously I can take one, right? Cool. All right. Okay, guys, we're just kind of checking it out. This is kind of this is an interesting way of doing things here. Everybody's so out here. This is something I haven't seen. This is why we come up here. So,
I don't know what they're doing.
so this whole hallway, guys, is all these guys are promoting their show at this show. Instead of coming in and passing out flyers at other people's shows, they just have a table out here. This is a good idea. This is a good idea, guys. All right, let's go check it out. All right, so I don't know. I mean, he said something about 40,000 square feet. I'm not gonna beat up the guy. This is probably more like 25.
All right, so I'm going to come back and again comment on that. Let's see. Okay, so the other thing I thought was cool, I need one of these signs, you know, to tell people where different things are. I don't have all of this stuff. They were able to have food trucks and all of this stuff, right? We don't have like an artist alley. I'm going to go back to the actual size. Okay. Sometimes I inflate the size a little bit too. It's not a big deal. Didn't mean to throw the guy under the bus. Very cool. All the people that were running this show were very, very cool. I met them all later. What I will say is it probably was 40,000 with the outside foyer. Okay. 40,000 square feet is about the size of Super RetroCon in Tampa. We're going to have that space in July. And so, you know, it was about that size. I would say the show space was more closer to the Tampa show that we have, maybe a little bit bigger than that. But they were able to have all these food trucks, which we can't have at the fairgrounds. And they were able to, they had a good amount of space. I'm going to play a little bit more of this, because I just show kind of like, and they have it posted, Artist Alley to the right and everything there. You'll see that. We don't really do it that way. I mean, the first thing that you come into the door at our show would not be Artist Alley. It will never be Artist Alley. So, yes. Thank you, Rock, there, Mr. Noakes, for pointing out. This was a very good show, guys. You know, it's just different than ours, but I'm going to show you a little bit more of my reaction, and then we'll come back on YouTube. You know, I'll be posting this to YouTube on Florida Toy Shows. And hopefully, you know, I don't know how much I'll edit it. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and play a little bit more though, and then we'll comment a little bit more.
Well, that's all right. We ain't hating on them. Let's see if there's anything good. Let's see if there's anything that Jeff can buy. We'll see. Let's see. Turn around. Yeah, we're going to see if there's anything that Jeff can buy in here. I have a lot of stuff, but we'll see. But we're going to show you around. All right. Is it similar to Jeff's show or not? We're going to go to the right because I think people always go to the right. This is a lot more comic oriented than I would have. Some jewelry right off the rip. Wow. Things. Okay, guys, if I move the camera a little too fast, it's because I'm kind of new at this. This is pretty cool, this Batman painting. Yeah. Batman painting. No toys yet. This must be like Artist Alley or something.
Obviously, I'm not paying
weird
attention
for me
to
have,
the signs. I just walked in and doing
artists
my
be
video.
like the first thing that people see, but okay. They can do whatever they want. So it's like just saying, just giving you guys my own little feedback as I see it. These are kind of cool. The dice. We don't have really dice at our show. We got tumblers. Oh, sorry. Yep. A lot of people here, though. A lot of people here. Let me show that. A lot of people. A few rows. Press the light back there. That's cool. All right. Leather bags. This is an upgrade. That's cool. Pixel art. Sells art. That's a big Mario. Wow. Food trucks, tumblers. All right. And then you got Scott Innes. We've seen him at other shows. You got the dragons, 3D print stuff. I still haven't seen any toys yet. Wow. All right. Anyway, it's pretty busy here, though. Ghostbusters, 501st. Or no, Mandalorian marks. Okay. Still not seeing any yarn toys or 3D print. No, this is something else. Okay. Necklaces. All right. Still no. I mean, I'm just giving you guys my feedback, guys. Okay, I've never really been to a show outside our area. Okay, boom. First toys here. Okay, what do we got? Some old Barbie.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pause this again, and I'll come back to the screen here, guys. And I just want to point out again that really, this, I didn't read the signs. Okay, I didn't read the signs. I went in and then I'm giving you my feedback as I go in there. It certainly said Artist Alley, so I wasn't paying attention. And I don't expect, the show to be like my show. Okay. It's not that, but it was a very good show. Now, I could show a little bit more, or actually I think this clip is going to end because I think I ended up talking to these guys, the toy people here. And then of course, we moved on and we ended up finding, some toys on the other end. The toys were mostly on the other end. And so let me go ahead and I'll just take that off and I'll talk a little bit about it. But so the toys were on the other end, and that's where we ended up meeting with our friend there, Rocksteady there. And then it was a mini Comic-Con, I would say, Chris. It was like, they had something for everybody, literally. Okay. They had a lot of artist stuff there on that one side. I was like, yeah, I don't really care about, I mean, I like having those at our show, but I don't want to have like duplicates, multiple of the same type of stuff. But I do want to have some things, and I certainly want to help out vendors. But anyway, the show, I think the video, I think I end up, let me go ahead and let me add a little.
This stuff does not fit this show. Half off? Okay. Yeah, we've never been here before, so we're just kind of walking around first. But this is the first toy I found in this show. We run toy shows down in Florida, so I was like,
well, we need to come down right.
yeah, I have. Well, that's how I found out about the show. A guy here, I'm gonna pause my video here, but there's like a guy here. He comes down. I'll just.
Oh, okay. So that must have been. Let me go ahead and remove that, and then I'll maybe go to the next clip just so you guys can see that. I know that you probably maybe you do or don't care. I don't know. Let me go ahead and let me see if I can stop that and just go to the next one. But basically what we ended up doing is we ended up going down to the other end. What I do want to do real quick, since I have it up and we still have people on here, I'm going to skip.
All right, guys, we are back here at
Okay, I'm going to go to the last video, which is I had already kind of been around, and then I'm going to show a little bit of the actual toys that I did find. And then let me just see about doing this because I want to make sure that I show that there was definitely really good stuff there. Let me go ahead and get that open.
All right, guys, we are back.
Okay, and then yeah, here we go.
We are back here at
this was a little bit later in the show. Okay, I think I had talked to a bunch of people by then, and now I'm showing you where I found that stuff.
Mandeville show. We've been here most of the day since I talked to you guys. I'm gonna just do a quick little video. We'll go through the show. It's probably an hour before closing now, which there's still people in here. But anyway, I'm just gonna do a quick little walkthrough of the rest of the show, show you some guests and some cool stuff that I found while I was here, and then we'll end the video. But this has been a good show. Learned some things, met a lot of cool people. We're gonna go out with some guests, to dinner with these guys, and anyway, so I'll go ahead and walk through the show. Let me go ahead and turn it around for you, and I'll show you some cool stuff that I found. All right, so we were all right, I'll wait for them to talk about this panel, and then okay, so we had went through the back around. We didn't hit this row and that row. So most of this row, before I do that. So we've got some really cool stuff here. Wow, I didn't even see this stuff. All the vintage Star Wars he's got. Boxes aren't necessarily multiple. What's he got on these? $650. Wow. Yeah, he's got a bunch of stuff. All right, guys. Well, anyway, I didn't see that. But anyway.
I mean, prices were okay, but weren't like crazy.
You got some cool, man. You got some vendors here. I'll just do a couple. So you've got some vendors, and he's got some guests down there that I met. Some cards. So sorry, guys, if I'm doing a little quick here, because I've been here for a little while, but talk to some of these guys about coming to our show. Some people that, just inviting people. We have a guy here, not thinking of his name right this minute, that comes to our show down in Orlando, and he's told everybody about us, and then he invited me to come up here, and then some of his friends are set up here. Like this guy here, he's got some cool stuff. We've got some Motu, loose wrestlers, Spawn. He's got some complete Motu. I think are, well, anyway, Legends, I think. That's kind of cool. Figures. All right. Lots of everything here. I just thought I'd kind of give you guys
Okay,
a
so
view.
let me go ahead and
Let's see. These
um,
are Hasbro's.
there was a little of everything there, guys. I will say, in the video there, I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna show some of the more vintage stuff that people would be interested in here on the video. There was another one where another guy had a bunch of turtles. He had there was plenty of vintage there. I found another early bird set. There was a Kraken. There was some prototype turtles. There was a lot of stuff. But I was just impressed with the attendance when I got there at 12:30, 1 o'clock. Um, is when we went in there originally, and all that. The moral of the story is it was a great trip. I learned Pensacola is pretty big actually, and Tallahassee is certainly a spot that we want to try to do a show. I don't know if we're going to get over to Alabama right away or anything like that. Louisiana, they seem to have that pretty good. But I did have vendors ask about me doing shows outside of Florida and everything like that, and then that's when I invited them to come down and try out our show. So we will have some people from there, a couple anyway, that are one was already coming down for a concert for that weekend. The Offspring is playing the same weekend as our Tampa Toy Con, and then hey, go ahead and message me again. I did see your message the other day. Certainly, we'll get you at the show. Okay, so just hit me up, and thanks a lot, there, Dion, Noakes, and we appreciate you. Appreciate you putting in the good word for me here up there, because it was pretty cool when I started to talk to some of the vintage guys, just to say, hey, I'm from Florida, blah, blah, blah. It was, I don't, when I go into a show and I see something I think fits our show, I'll say, hey, or I'll look and I'll buy something. This week I think up there, the one thing I did buy was I bought a Stormtrooper Luke with the coin last 17. I did end up finding something to buy. There was as I went around, there was a Kraken and a Godzilla and an early bird, a couple other things that were really cool that I wanted to buy, but I was like, man, I need to slow down. There's some stuff that you guys don't even know about that we're working on. So anyway, and then I ended up kind of, hopefully Tim isn't too upset, or I don't think he was. He seemed like a very, very nice guy. I kind of invited myself to the dinner, and I invited Dion and then a couple other vendors, because I just said I'll pay for it, and going back to Brian here, so stuff with cons, it's hard to do mega numbers, really. No, that's exactly right, and that's one of the things that I wanted to show in this video, is that if you take decent marketing and you do it in a place where there isn't a show every week, and then you're gonna get good numbers. It's just a matter of we gotta work twice as hard to get half the people, in my opinion. And so it's a lot of work to get people to come to an event, guys. So but anyway, so we're gonna be adding shows this year. Our next show, Port St. Lucie, is sold out vendor wise. I'm going to bring up the schedule again. And then Orlando is now sold out. I think I have maybe one table left as of right now, unless the last person, Pam, wanted to come back. If she can't get for sure. The Tallahassee Fairgrounds is pretty inexpensive too. And so I think they were saying also, Brian, that the that building was the biggest building that they had in the area to rent. So like they used to run that, I guess. I think Dion can confirm that, but they used to have it in a hotel and then they moved to that building. But I had multiple people tell me, including the promoter. So when the promoter said it it was confirmed, but I mean, I had vendors telling me that place sells out. That show sells out in an hour or two, and he said, well, when I talked to him, he said minutes actually, because I think everybody re-ups for the next one because they're only doing 2 a year, and that's fine. I mean, they can do 2 a year. I like the way that I do it. So anyway, all right, guys. So then again, Port St. Lucie is next. Sorry, I'll make that bigger again. Port St. Lucie is next, and then we have Orlando at Avanti Palms. It's now called the Wyndham Avanti Resort, so that will be a change on the schedule. And then you're gonna see a bunch of stuff now about Tampa Toy Con. We got guests. We're gonna have at least 3. I'm gonna try to get some YouTubers to come out. We got something special I'm working on. Not ready to put it out there yet. Some of you know about it already. Another super unboxing if I can get this piece. So we'll see if my wife doesn't kill me. But anyway, so anyway, no, I think we're good. But it's a big deal. It's a big deal. If you think the flag was a big deal, this is a bigger deal, in my opinion. And so anyway, and we'll be promoting that if we get it, and hopefully we get. I've got a line on some YouTube people, to come and join us. And I'm making this my big show of the year. Okay. So July and 12th and 13th, we're moving to 40,000 square feet. We're going to have Legos. Lego groups. I'm going to invite hopefully the G.I. Joe and the Ghostbusters guy, and maybe Star Wars will come. If not, that's fine too. But we're going to have lots and lots of toys. I'm going to be working on, in the less time here in the next couple months, I'm going to be working on, some displays. I might bring some games and stuff like that. So that'll be in Tampa on July 12th and 13th. Okay. And then so new schedule will be put out tomorrow. Or after probably Wednesday, because I'm going to be confirming some of these new dates that I discussed tonight. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go for now. And thanks for joining us, joining me tonight, and your comments. And thanks, Brian and Dion and Chris and people that all, talked tonight, including Julian here and Jonathan was throwing the shots fired here at the beginning. I kind of did do that because I did have a couple vendors like, yo, man, that's on Ocala Comic Con. Well, what am I supposed to do? Sit at home, and go to Ocala Comic Con. I'm fine. I want to do a show. I like doing them. Right. They don't have toys. So let's see. Oh yeah. Well, good luck with that. I know that's going to be, you were in a rough shape this weekend, and hopefully we'll see you this summer, man. All right. I'll let you guys go. Have a good week. I may, try to do another video of some kind, and I'm just going to try to keep you guys updated. Thanks again, guys, for joining us tonight, and have a good week. Bye now.